Who's the weakest character in My Hero Academia? If your answer is Mineta, you're not thinking small enough. I think of an even weaker character. Wanna know? Hang out with me until the end because today, I'm creating an absolute weakling, an entirely useless character in the entire My Hero Academia universe by combining the most worthless traits from your favorite or not so favorite My Hero Academia characters into one spectacularly inept individual. By the end of this video, you'll meet a character who embodies nothing but pure, unadulterated weakness. So are you ready? Let's dive in! Now, there are mainly 10 characteristics that define strength in a My Hero Academia character, and these are: number 1, Quirk Power; number 2, physical strength; number 3, speed and agility; number 4, combat skills; number 5, stamina; number 6, Quirk Control; number 7, intelligence and strategy; number 8, mental fortitude; number 9, popularity; and number 10, creativity. As I said, my goal will be to find the most useless and worst match for each of these traits and assign them to my character. To keep things interesting, we'll only use one trait from any given character. This way, we'll create a truly unique individual. For example, if we take Mineta's poor Quirk Power, we won't also use his lack of physical strength. This ensures our character is a unique combination of weaknesses from across the My Hero Academia universe. Trait number 1, Quirk Power. Alright, let's start with our character's quirk. In the My Hero Academia universe, a quirk is a superpower unique to each individual, defining their abilities and often their role as heroes or villains. The strength and utility of a quirk greatly impact a character's effectiveness in battles and everyday life. For our character, we need the most useless quirk imaginable. That is where Color Shift Quirk comes in. This quirk allows the users to change the color of small objects. That's it, no offensive capabilities, no strategic advantages. Just a pointless ability to make things look different. Imagine being in the middle of a battle and all you can do is turn your opponent's weapon pink. Absolutely useless. We took inspiration from Minoru Mineta's Pop-Off. While Mineta's quirk might seem unimpressive, it at least has some utility in combat and defense. In contrast, Color Shift is utterly impractical and offers no real benefit, making our character the epitome of quirk-related ineffectiveness. Now that we have nailed down our character's hilariously weak quirk, let's move on to the next trait. Number 2, physical strength. Physical strength is crucial. It determines a character's ability to engage in hand-to-hand combat, endure physical challenges, and perform heroic feats. For our character, we need the weakest physical strength imaginable. I'm assigning our character the prowess of a frail, elderly person. He can barely lift a small book and struggle with the simplest physical tasks. This level of weakness makes him utterly ineffective in any physical confrontation. For this, my inspiration is Koji Koda. While Koda isn't the strongest character, he still has some level of physical abilities. Our character, however, is even weaker, lacking any significant muscle or endurance. With this pathetically low physical strength, our character wouldn't stand a chance in any physical altercation, making him a true embodiment of weakness. Now, let's move on to the next trait, speed and agility. Number 3, speed and agility. The third trait is speed and agility. Speed and agility are vital for dodging attacks, launching quick strikes, and navigating the battlefield effectively. For our character, we need the slowest and clumsiest nature possible. Our character moves at a snail's pace, stumbling over his own feet more often than not. He is the exact opposite of a nimble hero, with a lack of coordination that turns every step into a potential disaster. For this trait, my inspiration is Hanta Sero. While Sero isn't known for being the fastest, he at least has decent agility. Our character, on the other hand, is perpetually tripping, falling and bumping into things. Imagine our character trying to run and constantly tripping over his shoelaces. Picture him attempting a simple dodge move and ending up face first on the ground. His clumsiness is so profound that even standing still can be a challenge. In the world of My Hero Academia, our character is the epitome of clumsiness and sluggishness. Now, let's move on to the next trait, combat skills. Trait number 4, intelligence. On number 4, let's discuss our character's intelligence. As we know, intelligence is crucial for strategic planning and problem solving. For our character, we need the lowest IQ imaginable. Our character struggles with even the simplest tasks, constantly misunderstanding instructions and making poor decisions. I've taken inspiration from Denki Kaminari. While Kaminari's intelligence drops when he overuses his quirk, he still manages most of the time. Our character, however, consistently operates at a much lower level. In daily life and hero training, our character frequently forgets basic tasks and falls behind, unable to grasp straightforward concepts. In a world where brains are as important as brawn, our character's lack of intelligence makes him a true liability. Now, let's move on to the next trait, combat skills. It's time to tackle our character's combat skills. Combat skills are essential for any hero. These skills determine how well a character can defend itself and others in a fight, and for our character, we need someone with 0 combat skills. I'm inspired by Minoru Mineta, who isn't exactly known for his fighting prowess. Our character takes it to another level of incompetence. He can't defend in a basic sparring match, let alone a real fight. Imagine a training session where our character attempts to throw a punch but ends up hitting himself, or trying to block an attack and instead tripping over his own feet. Even the simplest combat maneuvers result in a comical disaster. In a world where heroes need to be able to fight, our character's utter lack of combat skills makes them a complete failure in any battle scenario. Now, let's move on to the next trait, stamina. Next, let's look at our character's stamina. Stamina is crucial for enduring long battles and maintaining high energy levels throughout hero training, but we need extremely low stamina for our character. For this trait, my inspiration is Yuga Oyama, who often suffers from stomach aches due to his quirk. Our character takes it a step further. He gets exhausted after just a few minutes of light activity. Picture our character running a short distance during training and needing to lie down immediately afterward, panting heavily. Even basic exercises like jumping jacks leave him completely drained. In a world where heroes need to be in top physical condition, our character's low stamina makes him unable to keep up with any physical demands. Now, let's move on to the next trait, Quirk Control. Mastering Quirk Control is vital for a hero to effectively use their powers without causing unintended damage. However, for our character, we need the worst Quirk Control imaginable. Inspired by Izuku Midoriya, who initially struggles to control One for All, our character's Quirk Control is even worse. Every time he tries to use his quirk, it backfires spectacularly, causing more harm to himself than to anyone else. Imagine our character attempting to use his color shift quirk and accidentally turning himself into a rainbow of colors, causing a severe headache in the process. Or trying to change the color of an object and ending up with a massive nosebleed from the effort. In a world where precise quirk control is essential, our character's poor control makes him a danger to himself and utterly ineffective in any heroic situation. Now, let's move on to the next trait, intelligence and strategy. Trait number 8, mental fortitude. In the My Hero Academia universe, mental strength is crucial for overcoming fears, facing challenges, and persevering in difficult situations. For our character, we need someone who is easily discouraged. Inspired by Koji Koda, who is shy and easily frightened, our character is even more timid and quick to give up. At the slightest challenge, he becomes paralyzed with fear and despair. Picture our character facing a minor setback during training and immediately deciding he's not cut out to be a hero. Or encountering a low-level villain and freezing up completely, unable to muster the courage to fight back. In a world where mental resilience is key to being a hero, our character's lack of fortitude makes him a liability in any stressful situation. Now, let's move on to the next trait, popularity. Trait number 9, popularity. Next up is our character's popularity. In the My Hero Academia, being able to connect with others and form strong relationships is important for teamwork and support. For our character, we need someone who is socially awkward. Therefore, we're going to take inspiration from Hitoshi Shinso, who initially struggles with social acceptance due to his quirk. Our character is even more socially awkward. He is unable to make friends or communicate effectively. Imagine our character trying to introduce himself and ending up mumbling incoherently or attempting to join a group conversation and saying something completely inappropriate. His social skills are so poor that he often ends up isolated and misunderstood. In a world where building strong connections is vital, our character's extreme social awkwardness makes him an outcast. Now, let's move on to the final trait. Trait number 10, creativity. Finally, let's delve into our character's creativity. In the My Hero Academia universe, creativity is essential for coming up with inventive solutions and strategies during battles and problem solving. For our character, we need someone who completely lacks creativity. Inspired by Rikido Sato, who relies on his sugar intake to boost his strength, a straightforward and uncreative use of his quirk. Our character takes it a step further. He is unable to think outside the box or come up with any inventive solutions. Imagine every character in a training scenario where he has to overcome an obstacle. Instead of finding a clever way around it, he just stands there completely stumped. When given a problem, his only response is to follow the most obvious and least effective path. In a world where heroes need to be quick thinking and innovative, every character's total lack of creativity makes them a liability in any situation requiring quick thinking or adaptation. And there you have it, My Hero Academia fans. We have crafted the ultimate weakling by combining the most ineffective traits from various characters. Let's recap every character's spectacular shortcomings. Number 1. Quirk Power, Color Shift, utterly useless in combat. Number 2. Physical Strength, weaker than the frailest elderly person. Number 3. Speed and Agility, moves at a snail's pace and constantly trips. Number 4. Intelligence, low IQ, struggles with basic tasks. Number 5. Combat Skills, 0 ability to defend himself. Number 6. Stamina, exhausted after a few minutes of light activity. Number 7. Quirk Control, poor control causing more harm to himself. Number 8. Mental Fortitude, easily discouraged and paralyzed by fear. Number 9. Popularity, socially awkward and unable to make friends. Number 10. Creativity, completely lacks inventive thinking. This character is the epitome of weakness. He can't fight, think, or socialize effectively, his quirk is a useless party trick, and his physical abilities are non-existent. But how would he survive in the My Hero Academia universe? Maybe he'd be the comic relief, tripping over his own feet and turning villains' weapons pink, bringing a bit of laughter to even the most dire situations. He might not save the day, but he would certainly make things interesting.